Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the final round of this week's Friday Night Magic Standard Tournament. After much deliberation, our combatants have decided to play it out. If you're watching these in sequential order, you just saw Brett Rose win his semifinal match against Vince Smith with his green-white tokens deck, and he will be playing against Jonathan Wright, who I will call Scotty Wright, numerous points over the following half hour to 40 minutes, who is playing, as usual, his blue-white midrange deck. I think this is the first time since we started to broadcast these that Brett has made it to the finals, but Jonathan has participated in the finals before, including the inaugural Wright Brothers Ultimate SmackDown in the original, and now most importantly, who won the last one? Scissors? Scissors won.
Yeah, Scissors won the last one.
It's very important. Are they waiting for us? They're not waiting for us, surely. I will say this. This is one of the first times that usually they always ask me what my opinion is. Like, do I want them to chop? Scissors? Was that scissors?
Yeah. Scissors pulls ahead.
So for those of you keeping track at home, pull out your sheets so that you can mark them accordingly. Scissors Lizard.
Coming from behind.
Last week, Rock Lobster was over, and put up a good showing early tonight, but falling off the base. It's amazing what I'm a grown ass man, and I've spent a certain amount of time creating a fun little picture so I can keep track of. This is the most arbitrary of determinants. What do normal people do on a Friday night? What kind of hobby shop do they go to?
No idea. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they don't go to any kind of hobby shop.
Man.
Does the bar count as a hobby shop?
Yeah.
Drinking's a hobby.
If your hobbies... Well, there's a variety of hobbies that one can participate in at the hobby shop, that is the bar. Jonathan is this is the second round where he's been looking at these. He's very concerned, I think. Earlier, I think, if I overheard correctly, I think he was concerned about whether or not a rock lobster could actually beat the scissors lizard based on the art that's on the card, because I don't think the rock lobster has enough of offensive appeal, it seems to him.
Is he not rocky enough?
I don't know.
I think the idea is that the scissors lizard defeats itself trying to get the rock lobster.
Brett just asks, how does paper beat rock?
It covers it. That's what I've always been told. I didn't really think that was a very good explanation, though.
So Brett has mulled to 6. And in a surprise move from Brett's deck, it generates a turn 1 land that comes into play. Tapped. Are you going to live stream these packs?
I don't care.
I don't care. I'm a man. I'm 40. I busted that on the Cube stream. I'm a man. I'm 40. That's what I need. I need to save all these YouTube meme videos and then just interstitials, just jam them in there.
Pretty soon that'll just be the bulk of your stream.
And it will be 10,000 times better. If I just played Gangnam Style 9 Cat all night, people are like, this is the best Magic stream I've ever seen. As Brandon unpacks.
Alright, what do we got here? Show me the bonfire.
Yeah, right.
We just had an abundant growth mana leaked. This seems very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's just really.
It's a red miracle.
That's just mean. I forgot that was a card. I got excited for a second.
So while you guys were looking at the Reforge the Soul that you just packed, Brett had a abundant growth mana leak, which seems like a very aggressive mana leak.
Yeah.
Or he could just be holding a bunch of mana leaks.
Well, he didn't mana leak the Parallel Lives, which I think is probably a must-counter type card in this situation. But he did resolve that lady that flies. You guessed it. Lady Flyer.
Did you want me to open one of these on camera?
I don't care. I'm just joshing with you. As Jonathan plays what is probably the 1,000th Blade Splicer of his Magic career. Hero. Four mana is a Gurk.
I told you open bad cards.
Gurk.
Just loaded so much.
So he resolves a Garrick here. He makes a wolf token. I'm not going to flash it because I had to dig through all my titles to find it. But a wolf token has made its appearance. Two wolf tokens. I'd get epilepsy just flashing it that many times from how many wolf tokens he made. But now Garrick just dies, right?
I guess he's probably fine with that, getting two tokens and then not taking damage, but yeah, looks like
I would have killed the Splicer.
looks like he went for Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did get
I think the
too.
Angel went in at him.
So he probably took 3. Brett normally puts his phone up, which is really nice, but...
I would have definitely killed the Blade Splicer. Flip Karuk. And blocked and tried to save him. And you got rid of Blade Splicer.
Gurk was going to die no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's just, do you get more value out of killing the Blade Splicer, or do you get more value out of making a couple dudes? Well, this game is over. I do like Jonathan's technology of keeping all the Blade Slicer tokens
In a single sleeve.
Yeah.
Just peeling them out as they're needed.
He's going to need a lot of them, because the boy and his Blade Splicers.
This is just how he plays his deck. Like, and he has no idea how to win outside of Blade Splicer, Restoration Angel. Paper snag all your creatures and pretend like nothing's going on.
Snag the Ugly Wolf. The Lorwyn one. It's ugly. Yeah. It just looks like a rabid dog. Look at this. This is, what card does this generates that wolf token? Do you know? That's a good trivia for you guys. Everyone at home, you can play along. That wolf token that was just killed, what card generates that wolf token?
Can I answer?
I give up.
Michael gives up. Brandon?
I know the answer. Sword of Body and Mind.
Sword of Body and Mind. That's why it's kind of a bluish wolf.
Blue-green.
Should be like a-
One of the most bluish wolves that you can have.
You mean the glowy blue wolf?
Mm-hmm. Jonathan wins. And he wins in a very efficient fashion, which I appreciate. Because Jonathan's deck does have a...
Control part of
it does have a tendency to go long. And at 11:20 at night, having not eaten dinner, I want to go to IHOP real bad.
I've eaten like 5 suckers.
Alright. You heard it here first, gang. Brandon Hart has consumed upwards of 5 suckers tonight. Those are not suckers, those are Tootsie Rolls. Tootsie Pops, right?
Pop, yep.
How baller are you?
I think I'm the only reason JV sells them.
I do not often partake of the treats here, but that is a good plug. Lost Legion Games and Comics does not only can not only meet your needs when it comes to Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, Kaijudo, Warhammer War Machine, the new X-Wing miniatures game, various RPGs played throughout the week, as well as comic books. But they do have drinks and snacks.
There are more board games sold here than I've ever
Yes.
seen in my entire life.
If you enjoy board games of literally every ilk, we have them here.
There's even a rack of just loose board games that you can just take off the shelf and play right here in the
Yes.
shop.
Demo copies are readily available. I have even in my time here, despite being almost 100% Magic based, I have participated in some board game free play.
I've found a couple
Most
board games that are really
notably,
fun.
the Battlestar Galactica board game. Have you ever played that?
No, I heard it takes a long time.
I'm not going to argue with that. I would find that description to be pretty accurate. But it is actually pretty fun. Do you know the basics of the game? Are you familiar with Battlestar Galactica?
I've heard of it.
Okay, here's all you need to know about Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica is set in they're spaceships, okay, and there are people,
Okay.
and there are these things called Cylons, which are robots.
Okay.
And the Cylons are trying to kill people, and the people are trying to not be killed by the Cylons. But when in the time you get to the point in the show, the Cylons have reached a point where they can make Cylons that look like people.
Okay.
So the whole crux of the show is who's a Cylon and who's not.
Kind of like Terminator.
There's just yes, it's very similar, but like the whole show hinges upon that fact. So, then that's pretty neat because over the course of many seasons, you figure out, oh, this character is a Cylon, or I thought this guy was and he wasn't. It's actually a pretty good show. They are all streaming on Netflix, both the original and the new version. And I watched them all. It's one of those I don't watch a lot of sci-fi shows, but it's one that actually lived up to everything that everyone had. Because everyone's like, oh, you gotta watch Battlestar, it's so good. And I was like, all right, I'll watch it. It can't be as good as you say it is because it's just not possible. And then it was like, oh, it's pretty good. I watched 4 seasons in 2 weeks. And they're hour-long episodes. So I'm a dork. I'm here on Friday night. So Friday nights is all about magic. Saturday, the entire day, is about watching Battlestar Galactica. But anyway, the board game basically works it out as half the people in the game are people, and half the people in the game. Oh no, actually not half the people. But at the beginning of the game, you draw randomly. Some people are Cylons. Some people aren't. There may not be any Cylons in the game. So you have tasks in the game that you're trying to do. All the people are working collaboratively together. But if somebody's a Cylon, they're secretly trying to sabotage because they win the game if basically all the humans die.
That sounds kind of like Shadows over Camelot. It's a similar thing. There's all the players and one of them is secretly working against the rest of them.
And there's also an interesting thing that is thematic with the show, which is in the middle, the halfway point. There's I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's an awakening. I don't even think it actually had a name in the show. But there's a point. Oh, sleeper cells. There's a point halfway through the game where you redraw, and some people who were people can now be Cylons.
Oh.
So it's very interesting because it becomes that game where you're playing an actual game, like a board game, which is fun. But then there's that interpersonal game where you're trying to figure out is he bluffing, is he being serious? You're trying to sell it, you're trying to be a good actor or whatnot. So I enjoyed it. I also played it with JB, who is the manager here at Lost Legion. So that was good because he knows the game.
He knows
verbatim.
everything about every game.
And he's also it's one of those games that would be really fun to play with people you like.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of interpersonal back and forth. And that is an inadvertent plug for Battlestar Galactica board game. Now back to the actual game. Nothing has happened.
Looks like we managed to talk through all that boring shuffling and jump right back into the game.
Yep. And just like every week, there's this. I try so hard to keep it going. Get pumped up. I got my Orange Crush soda pop. I'm trying to keep my energy level high, but
there's only a certain number of hours that you can talk about Magic cards.
Yes.
I think that number is somewhere under 6.
Yep. We're on 5 right now. I would say it's probably about the 4 mark. The quarterfinals. If it ended at the quarterfinals, if it was quarterfinals and a chop, I would have been in good shape tonight.
So what's going on in the game?
So
enough about us.
Brett played a turn 2 Shrine.
That seems pretty good for Brett.
And then had his turn 3 Lingering Souls Mana Leads.
So do you think Jonathan has sided in anything to deal with the shrines? I mean, he might have Divine Offering in the sideboard.
He has Divine Offering and Revoke Existence in the board. I would imagine he would bring one, if not both of them in. The Revoke Existence hits so many enablers in Brett's deck. It's probably the best thing he can have access to.
Yeah.
But I know he only has one because he plays that split.
Yeah.
The Divine Offering is pretty narrow. It only hits the shrine.
Yeah.
But the shrine is a big enough problem that maybe you wanna bring it in. Also, the fact that you can snap it back, and the fact that you can do it at instant speed is pretty relevant. So Jonathan shuffled off of his Ponder, right?
I believe so. And that Lingering Souls, I guess, got mana leaked.
That shrine will just win the game.
That's what I'm thinking, unless Jonathan can draw something to deal with it.
Did you get more packs?
Yeah, there's only 2 left. I don't want to be judged. I have a problem. I need open packs.
They call it cardboard crack. So if the first shrine doesn't get him, the second one probably will. It's not that shrine is unbeatable, but in a game like this where like Jonathan's digging for business, I mean he's chaining Ponders now trying to find something. Yeah, there's no pressure.
You know, if I was Brett, I would probably be like, he doesn't have much going on, and he's probably looking for a counter spell.
At this point, I think he's probably looking for just any business. The third card down was an angel. I saw that.
He had an angel in hand.
Might have been looking for that 4th land if he already had the angel.
Blade Splicer. Everyone's favorite.
What Jonathan played?
That is a nice little trick that Brett does. When he casts the shrine, he puts the die on the... Gisela, Blade of Goldenite.
Will. Yeah, will.
It's a mythic.
Out of a Gisela pack? Yeah. Fancy.
Brett looks to be resolving another token generator, I would think. No, it looks like a Virtue. Yes, that's very important.
So those shrines are going to be extra dangerous now.
Yeah, so next turn... Well, no, he can't kill next turn because they won't have... Intangible Virtue does not grant haste. That's a pro play for you guys.
So if he plays a land, though, the following turn he'll be able to pop both the shrines and swing for basically $1 million.
Here's an interesting thing about Brett Rose. When he swings with all of his creatures, he refers to that as swinging house.
Never heard that
We
one.
all have our little catchphrases. I think that's...
I've always liked
that's
Alpha Strike.
That's how you get to know our players here at Lost Legion. You know that Jonathan Wright is obsessed with Blade Splicers.
Yeah.
And you know that Brett Rose swings house.
So.
He's just going to quit post rotation.
I've talked at length about how Brett Rose loves Infect as a mechanic, but for the last few weeks, for whatever reason, I've not been able to talk him into playing that deck.
I think he's trying to wean himself off of it since Infect is going to be rotating.
What happened here?
But he was playing it the whole time before FNM started.
What happened? Do you know?
Well, there's one shrine activated.
For 5.
It's 10 power of mirrors.
Oh, he's going to cast Day of Judgment. He has a day in his hand.
So you're just trying to bait him into popping those shrines.
Yep.
Which I guess he activated the one that had the most counters on it.
Yeah.
You have to put 3 in front of each one, right?
Yeah. He has 5.
It will only kill 1, but... So he's not going to take any damage, he's going to kill 1 golem. No, he's going to take, angel damage. Do you day here? Do you wait until he pops out of the shrine?
Yeah, I think at this point, he's killed 4 of the 5 mirror tokens. There's not really any point in casting Day of Judgment.
Is that another shrine in his hand?
Because you're going to swing out next turn, and he's going to block to kill the golem.
Yeah.
If he's already shown, then that's the way he wants to go about it.
So he has an angel in his hand, right? Because Jonathan always has an angel in his hand.
I think he always has an angel and a Blade Splicer in his hand. I think he's running about 8 of each of those cards.
That's what we need. We need a deck check from him.
That's how he plays his game. He goes, he sees his hand. If he doesn't have one of them, he blinds.
Is that an abundant growth on the vault?
I think so.
Okay. And here comes a bird. Nope, another abundant growth.
Does it really matter what land he does?
Occasionally. He would never play it on like a swamp.
He's got enough now to activate that vault. So if he can get some dudes out there and make that relevant, could pull him back into the game.
The 2 shrines are going to be really hard to overcome for Jonathan. Even
Yeah.
if he days.
Well,
The 4 counters on one of them, that's not super dangerous
the
yet.
first shrine kind of negated the Day of Judgment he has in his hand. Now that he's played another one. I mean, he's still way ahead, but...
He has another angel in hand.
Mhm.
So...
And he keeps countering the...
He doesn't want the flyers there. He wanted the angel to be hit.
That's why he's selectively countering the souls. Just Jonathan's deck, like, it just masquerades as a control deck. It's a beatdown deck.
You can go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Play a little bit of a control game when it needs to.
He's definitely not going to play day now because image, angel, blinks.
Just make golem tokens forever.
Yeah, and he does have an angel in hand if I'm not mistaken. I did see one. He looks like he might have 2.
It's an angel and a Day of Judgment.
The fuller day.
And a Snapcaster. Angel of Day and Snapcaster.
It's a pretty good hand.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
What does Brett have in his deck that can deal with all this?
He needs layer angels. He really needs the flyers. Because he can just sit back and swing for 6 next turn in the air.
I mean, unless he's running his own Day of Judgments, I don't think there's a lot he can do.
That'd be counterintuitive. Is my turtle still alive?
Yep.
It's just in the turtle's still alive. I mean, it's gotta be a pretty crappy pet store if the turtle dies, like...
I have a guarantee that he has to live.
Is it from PetSmart?
Yeah.
Inadvertent plug for PetSmart. Oh, did he cast Timeline? That's pretty good. Changes the race math a little bit.
I feel like that helped him a lot. Did you just give him 6 life for Timeline?
Yeah. So, Jonathan was just getting clarification for what we were asking. I think that's an abundant growth under the vault. Because there was a previous week where we kept wondering why he wasn't doing certain things with his lands that he later, during the week, told me that abundant growths aren't lands, so you can't tap them for mana. So he can pop that shrine, right?
Yeah. I think he's gonna have to at the end of the turn. He could win next turn. Because he has a lot of damage.
It's got on there 6 counters.
Mm-hmm. So he's got 5 dudes, and he can make 6 more. It's 11. It's 22 by itself, all vigilant. He's at 16 life, so he's not in immediate danger.
Jonathan does not have him dead on board.
Jonathan can get in 6 damage in the air. If he wants to commit the golem tokens, then I guess he kind of forces Brett to lose a few of his dudes.
But the thing is like he can't. I don't think he can really attack with the golem tokens because
yeah, he really needs to.
He needs those as blockers because, like, if Brett, how many lands does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6 lands. Like he has Vault, so like and he has Township.
So he needs the golems to be able to first strike down as many of those guys before they can strike back and gain him life.
If he swings golems, image, and the 2 angels, he's gonna lose. He'll lose next turn. He'll pass turn. You just don't block it because you just take 12. You go to your turn. You Gavany, swing for game. Well, you pop Shrine into turn, and then Gavany win.
I don't know. I don't even know if Jonathan's going to attack here. He might attack with the angels.
That's
I don't even know if he
deal.
attacks with the Angels.
I think you need the blockers.
He attempts to cast Lingering Soul promo card that he won. That's neat. Whoops. Something just happened. Minor technical difficulties in the booth. Does that
There's
push?
just cardboard back there.
Push something. So, what happened?
Are you all playing for a final?
Oh, he just moved the die over.
Okay, so he didn't pop in the turn.
He did. He draws a land. Brett points at Jonathan, the universal indication to Ian Strachey that he lost the first game.
Oh, it looked like you said it. Yeah. It looked like one.
And again, comes into play,
He doesn't have anything land.
tapped.
That is always a huge downside of playing three-color decks. Like, I love to do.
8, 9, 11. That's 22 damage, which can become 33 damage, or which can have,
Lifelink and Death Touch.
Like, doesn't Jonathan just try to block as many as he can here in the day next turn?
I think so. It seems...
Make more guys?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he might not even have to day next turn. He can block like a million dudes now.
But he can Gavany.
Even if he Gavanies, the Golem still first strike everything down and the Angels still live through it.
No, but if he vaults...
If he
Golems
vaults,
still
the
live.
Golems will live, but the Angels will die.
Mm-hmm.
And Brett gains a bunch of life. I think he probably wants to vault here. And there it is.
He's using Vault, not Gavany.
Okay. That's what we figured. I don't know. Ian Strachey's a tall man.
Yes, he is.
I don't know what the life is. Brett's at 22, it looks like. This is very convoluted. Wait until they're done talking.
Wow.
What did Jonathan end up at?
Jonathan, what's your life total?
Hmm.
32 to 8.
So we were pretty off on Jonathan's life total
That
there.
escalated quickly.
Mm-hmm. But you still have the day here, right? Because now that he's
I
tapped
think
out...
he's swing in the day.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe he doesn't block it.
Sure.
He doesn't have the mana to use that last shrine at
Yeah.
the end of Jonathan's turn,
Mhm.
so
So at least it buys him one extra turn.
yeah.
But when he pops it at that point, it will be a 4, could be as much as a 6 if he casts Lingering Souls. You can't pass. You have to keep...
Honestly, the only thing that's really going to say Jonathan is a day judgment on this turn. He pops it, passes turn, and he days again. He swing.
Mhm.
We all agreed that needed to happen.
This is interesting, like, it's like an interesting bluff mechanic. Like, does Brett read him for Day of Judgment?
Yeah, I don't think he knew he was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
He had to play that.
He throws it down on the table.
Brett makes an audible small child's lament when the Day of Judgment is revealed. He's still in good shape.
Yeah, I feel like Brett knows. Unless Jonathan gets a Sun Titan, this game is pretty well in Brett's favor. Sun Titan can obviously turn the game around really fast.
Look at the meta of that Phyrexian card. This is a weird card.
I love how he tries to...
Are you leaning to the side trying to get a better angle on
Yeah, I do it every time. Elspeth? Elspeth's very good.
Yeah.
Pop Shrine?
Shrine gets a counter.
Pass two.
See, Brett comes with his tokens in hand. Especially when you're playing a tokens deck, you should have the proper ones. Otherwise, I got no idea what's going on. It's like that. Were you in here that week when Max was playing against Vickers and there was like 1,000 tokens, but we had no idea what was what because there was like...
They were all like tip cards and
Yes.
like upside down sleeves.
That's always bad because tokens don't have the same power dot.
That was also the game that Max lost about.
Snapcaster. Papers. On.
Yeah.
He's looking for a day judgment.
It doesn't. He could have.
He's not a Sun Titan though.
He could have vapor snagged the Day of Judgment.
What? I mean, he doesn't have.
I mean, Snapcaster.
Yeah,
Vapor snagging Day of Judgment is not something that can happen.
He only has 3 of them.
But at 11:43 on a Friday night, after talking about
he has
7
a
rounds
Blade
of
Slicer
Magic,
and an Angel in hand.
what does it do?
Nothing. Not right now.
He just loses.
He found the Sun Titan that he needed.
Great.
And he can't play it, obviously.
He needs a Day of Judgment here, and then the Sun Titan.
Well, he's not dead on board. Well, he will be. Well, he doesn't have 3 mana up, so he can't pop the Shrine. So...
Yeah, he does. He has 3 mana.
No, he's 2.
Those are both
They're both?
throws.
Yeah, he only has 5 available mana. I don't really know how he cast Elspeth last turn, actually. Oh, he had mana hidden over there. Yeah,
I don't know about that Elspeth play.
It's...
I think I would have just... I thought he had 3 open to be able to cast the... Oh, is this a Garrick?
Parallel lives.
Oh.
You can't minus Elspeth again, though.
Maybe he'll get greedy and just do it. That'd be good for Jonathan, I think. If he has a way to, you know, flash back that Day of Judgment.
He's gaining 3.
Yeah. You can't... Elspeth's built where you ultimate her, but she doesn't die. And you can't minus her twice in a row. Without upping her at least once.
Yeah, it's designed with the idea of like a 1-turn suspend. Like
I feel like she was designed really good.
She didn't see a lot of play at all. It's very interesting. So here's Sun Titan. Why would you... Oh, okay, you have to, I guess.
Yeah, he's making
Because if you cast Day of Judgment, he just dies, right?
Image, he's got Blade Splicers.
Mm-hmm. But Brett is going to get... Brett's going to get 12 tokens.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's dead regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he realized that moment. That's what happened.
He just wanted to cast his Sun Titan.
he
Let him
loves
have
it.
his Sun Titan.
He loves it so
The
much.
Sun Titan was 1 turn late, because I feel like if he would have got the turn before, not knowing Parallel Lives was a card. I liked Elspeth a lot, actually. I feel like all the
Whoops.
Planeswalkers from that block were extremely underutilized.
Inadvertent wolf token activation. Jeez, where is it? Come on. I could never make it in the big leagues. This is the finals. I forgot to add that. Have we got 1 million followers? There are
You should just say
There are 4 people watching this. Some of you I don't know. So that means you probably don't follow me on Twitter. So you should. Because if you follow me on Twitter, then you can win this. Boom. Your own playset of those stupid cards we keep talking about all freaking night.
How do you win this?
You follow me on Twitter, then you retweet any of my tweets throughout the week about the stream, or the giveaway, or anything else.
I asked that because I really wanted to answer, but it was kind of like, hey, a perfect asking time for the viewers.
Mm-hmm. We segue in. Every time I do a segue like that, Jordan laughs at me. Like, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
That was inadvertent, though.
No, it was well placed. This week we had 10 participants, 10 entries, and the winner was at Usman the Red, who writes for Star City Games. So in the last 2 weeks, I have given out prizes to 2 pseudo-magic celebrities. The editor of LegitMTG.com and the cube writer for Star City Games.
Not bad.
So what that means is whoever wins the next one will probably become a magic pseudo-celebrity. So that's even more incentive.
What does, how many places do you have?
Question. Let's look them up. Well, discounting the one that I'm giving away. Oh, somebody's getting one that looks like a dog's chewed on it. Oh, I only have 1 extra set.
You have a lot of rock lobsters, though.
I'll get more. I'll get more. I don't care.
He's got a source.
I do, actually. My buddy that's playing in the Star City Invitational that I told you about, he
Are they worth them?
owes me some. No, they're not worth anything. That's not true. I mean, they're like 50 cents each. There's no legitimate value to them, you know.
I mean, they're pretty cool.
It's fun to have. Of all the cards that are really not worth anything.
I really regret, like, I wish I would have played Magic when Unhinged was around.
I don't wish I had played then. I just wish I had
the foresight to buy a bunch of them.
I just want the lands.
Get the lands.
Yeah. I mean, lands are a big bonus, and the cards, I mean, I'm sure it was really fun.
Some of them were fun. Some of them were just cool cards.
Like,
I experimented for a period of time with a couple unhinged cards in my cube. There are a couple that are...
You should put City Bass in there. Let's be honest, it's a great card. At half mana.
Mm-hmm.
You're always half mana.
Well, this is the decider. Is this the first Game 3 you've had all night? No. The Hunter-Jonathan match went to Game 3, but we missed 2 of the games, so it was really like only Game 1.
Yeah.
I played 3 games.
They're dropping like flies. The fact that we've had a fair number of people watching tonight, given most of them are people who frequent the shop but just weren't here tonight. But that being said, I think it's pretty cool that there are some people watching that may not be affiliated with the store.
Mm-hmm.
We do our best to provide at least reasonable Magic content for those of you who, like us, have nothing better to do on a Friday night.
And not everybody's lucky enough to have a local game shop, so maybe they don't have
That's a
Friday
good
Night
point.
Magic to go to.
There are some places that are even more sequestered than West Virginia.
It was a really
They're like
surprise
3
play.
people.
Like
places.
other places in West Virginia.
Right.
Very surprising play. Jonathan Wright played a Blade Splicer.
We should just keep track. There was the very first week I did this, I thought it might be fun to just keep track of how many ponders are cast over the course of the event. But I think I might just start keeping track of the number of Blade Splicers.
It's pretty solid.
Keep track of the number of Golem tokens created, because Angeling and Blade Splicer should count.
Good point, Mike. Did you know that with tonight's broadcast, we have now exceeded 1,000 views lifetime on Twitch TV?
Ooh.
So I'll be
Very nice.
I'll be having the plaques made out and sent to everybody. What a jerk. Jonathan Wright's like, oh, you can't play your cards.
I kind of wish Brett would just keep his graveyard under his deck.
That is something I have noticed over many weeks. I oftentimes forget what is...
Yeah, like it just sometimes.
It's like trying to creep in there onto the battlefield.
Yeah, because
He's cheating. You know, Brett.
Clearly.
Sometimes his creatures will be right beside his graveyard, and you're just kind of like, is it a creature? Is it dead? What's going on?
Oh, I will notice too, now that we're talking about the analytics, that two people have followed us on Twitch. So that's 2 more subscribers. That really is seriously, if for those of you watching, go to Twitch, make an account, log in, follow us. That's the best way to get up-to-the-date content from us. Every time we go live, it will send you a notification.
And it makes us feel really good.
Yes, I'm self-validating. That's the only reason I've done this.
If I'm not here, I'm watching this. I'll even make an account and subscribe. Probably not.
It is cool. I talked to this at length with Cranny.
I'll forget, and I don't have to make the account to watch.
I talked with this at length at Cranny, with Cranny on Saturday. The guy who does the other cube. And the thing is, it's like this kind of, like doing this kind of streaming broadcast and stuff like that. I mean, it could potentially take off. There are things that, if you had really good content or commentary or something like that, that's a very small chance, but it could happen. But this is mostly for local people. This is an opportunity for people to see themselves play, go back and watch themselves. It's a good feeling. People come and they want to play under the camera.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think we would get more viewers if more people played more of the mainstream decks? We play zombies here, and that's probably the most popular deck in the format
I think that if you generated enough interest, you would probably keep viewers if everybody was playing a Tier 1 deck. But I don't think that would actually bring people in.
Yeah, I don't think it'll bring people in, but I think it would keep them more. Not saying there's anything wrong with playing.
We actually did have zombies on the stream a little while ago. It was some mono black zombies.
Yeah, the guy that played you.
Yeah, blue black. You might not have saw the blue.
There was blue in it?
There was
Yeah,
blue.
we didn't see any
Oh,
blue.
I just figured it was mono black. We didn't see anything.
He shouldn't have been playing blue. He really shouldn't have.
What was he playing for? The captain?
Yeah, just the captains. And I think images. It was really.
I like images.
It was a very slow zombie build. You know, if I wouldn't have had them all to like 4.
I was gonna say the very slow build, like beating you in like 10 turns.
You know, I could have got anything going. But I mean, I didn't come here expecting anything positive to happen. I made a green-white aggro.
That's the spirit.
I took green-white, and I was like, I have like 8 spots left. Forget it, I'm just gonna throw some black in there and play control. Like,
You know what? I don't know.
Tributes,
With these
a
Ravnica
Clipper,
cards coming out,
Doomblade, and 3 Tragic Clips.
with these Ravnica cards coming out, everybody's getting excited for a new format. I might play Standard. Quick question: is sneak attack legal in Standard?
Yes.
Sure.
It is. All right, I'm in.
So is Lightning Bolt.
I'm definitely in. If Lightning Bolt was legal, if tomorrow they spoiled like the 361st card in Ravnica was Lightning Bolt, I'd be all over it.
Lightning Bolt and Goblin Guy.
I'd be here day one.
With your
Goblin
foil
guy?
mini. Do you have the promo Lightning Bolts? The full art promos?
No.
I feel like that's what you should sleep with every night.
I have the Lightning Bolts I have from when I was a kid. They're whiteboarded, and I just play those. I've had them since I was a kid.
I still have my old Lightning Bolts from 4th edition.
Yeah, that's where mine are from.
Do you have a T-shirt with Patrick Sullivan on the front?
No, I would like Patrick Sullivan to sign my Lightning Bolt that's in my cube, because it's I want to have altered. It'd be fun.
You should have him sign every card.
I'd have him sign every card in my cube, all the basic lands too.
Just
If you
all
love
red.
planes, you'll love Patrick Sullivan.
Just all the
Inadvertent plug from Patrick Sullivan. That's one of my reoccurring memes on this, is the reoccurring inadvertent plug for. I also did something, I'm not necessarily proud of this, but I have, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into the, like, keeping track of the YouTube channel, because you have to put, like, the right kind of tags and descriptions and stuff like that to make it, like, searchable. You gotta improve your stats that way.
You gotta do your search engine optimization.
And one guy suggested, a buddy of mine, the guy he and I who I drafted with on Wednesdays, we were talking about maybe there'd be some value in having like a best of, like splice together like a 2 or 3 minute video like best
A little
of.
montage.
Yeah, it's like not necessarily plays so much as just like jokes and like funny stuff like that. So I started doing that. I'm keeping track now. I have to go back and I don't even know if I can at this point go back and splice them all together. But one of my funniest ones, one of my favorite ones, is I think if you go to round 4 of the very first week, which was August 31st, there was were you there for the discussion about CC's Pizza?
I think I overheard a little bit of it.
I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm just going to tell you it's the funniest thing that I remember on the stream. So go and watch it on YouTube. Round 4, August 31st, FNM.
That shrine is at 7.
I'll be honest. We've reached that. We're long since past the point in the evening where I've lost interest in Magic.
So what do you think the best deck will be post-rotation?
Probably
Zombies is going to lose the least from rotation.
Counterbalance.
That sounds pretty good.
Maybe Blue-Red Storm.
Yeah.
Earlier we hypothesized whether they would reprint something like Storm.
Yeah,
And I quickly explained to Jordan that they will never do that.
I think Cascade is as close as they're going to get.
I liked Cascade.
I don't even know
There's
about
nothing more
Cascade.
fun than casting a spell with Cascade.
Yeah.
There's nothing sadder than
Being receiving end.
I would say that every time you cast a Cascade spell, no matter what, you're so excited when you cast it, no matter what you Cascade into, unless it's another spell with Cascade, you're always disappointed.
Yeah.
Even Bloodblade into Blightning, which was the best thing you could do, you're still like, oh, this Blightning.
Yeah. Just
You
just
somehow
2
want
spells.
something more.
I only get one more free spell.
I have both Blightning and Bituminous Blast in my cube. And at one time only, have I lived the dream of having a Jund deck and cascading into a Cascader and
Lightning.
yeah. Well, I have Bloodbraid. I have all of them.
Yeah.
I also have the Enlisted Worm, which is the 5/5 for 6 Cascade. It needs to come out. It will come out. It's a fine card, but it's just not nearly as strong as
Right. And you're like the best deck in Modern. I feel like Modern's a really weird format. I feel like there's not like a dominant deck.
There's not, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
They unbanned Valakut, so that's going to wreak havoc.
Yeah. They banned World Fire and Primeval Titan and Commander.
World Fire I'm very pleased with.
Yeah.
Jordan actually cast it last week in an EDH game we were playing for fun, and it quickly became not fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were in that game, weren't you? Didn't you win that game?
Yeah, I ended up winning that game because I managed to get out enough mana to cast my general.
You drew 3 lands.
I drew 3
That's
lands.
the key to winning after World
did.
Fire. Yeah, and then Primeval Titan was fine because it was just one of those cards that's kind of a nuisance. Like the whole game centers around like who gets Titan first, who clones the Titan.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
I think the best thing about it was the unbanning.
Of Kokoshu?
Oh yeah, Kokoshu. He's banned as general, but he's allowed in the deck, and he immediately went in line.
And most importantly, he has a dragon.
Oh yes.
That's really all that matters.
Brandon Hart loves him some dragons.
That's really all that matters. But he's a $15 dragon. That's no fun.
He was a $15 dragon that was played in no format. That's the power of dragons
Exactly.
for finance.
So much bought from the old dragons, and I decided that it just wasn't worth my money.
It's very expensive.
I really wasn't. But it was like $140, and I don't want it that bad.
Yeah.
Did you consider crying about it?
Yeah.
Turn 1. Are they still playing?
They're moving cards around.
Day of
this
Judgment.
game's not over. He had lots of tokens.
But like now it looks like the same state that the game was in previous.
The last time we were paying attention.
But this time Brett has a Garrick as well.
He had Gurk last time. He's had Gurk for a while.
Can he
He's
not?
flipped and having fun. He has 2 shrines and 1 in the graveyard.
Yes.
That looks like it's his battlefield.
It's a secret Brett Rose graveyard.
So you hit your land. Can you stop Charbelcher? You just do it until you want to quit?
Yeah, you can't. You don't get the option of not doing it.
So
Just do it till they're dead.
Okay, so you just do it for 20, and then you just quit. I mean, it's pretty bad if you drew your land and then Charbelcher and you build yourself and lost. That's just my mindset, thinking Legacy is actually fair in some way.
That was a turn 2 kill, not a turn 1. While you are watching this, I'm goldfishing my Charbelcher deck.
Is that your favorite Legacy deck?
No, it's not anywhere close to my favorite. My favorite is this.
What is your favorite deck?
There's only one card in Legacy that I care about. It's Show and Tell. Sometimes what I show and tell into play varies with mood and in competitive environments the metagame. But that's all I want to do is do show and tell something. Currently I've been showing a lot of Hive Mind. And then I've been telling them all about it.
He played Show and Tell against me. I put a Mother Ruin in the play.
Seems strong.
Yeah.
So he has the activation on the minus ability for Garrick flipped. Garrick the Veil Cursed, I believe, is this.
The Veil Cursed.
Yes.
Is sacrifice a creature,
Search
tutor for a creature. That doesn't matter now.
Put it into your hand. It does not go in the battlefield. It goes on into your hand.
What a jerk. Township. Make it 2/2 woof. I even missed the woof token.
He made it with Garuk instead. I feel like tutoring was not. I feel like tutoring is the ideal play most of the time.
He would have tutored, but he didn't have a creature in his deck.
Did he not have a creature in his deck?
He should not have this Phyrexian Rebirth in his deck.
He really shouldn't. But it's Brett Rose, and he loves Phyrexian stuff
He does.
of all sorts.
That's the kind of a way he can play Infect in a non-Infect deck.
Yeah. He finds a way.
We need to go out there and confirm the live totals is what we need to do. Wait until they're not like, I don't want to bother him while he's like in the process of.
Trying to figure something out. So I played my Legacy deck for the first time
Just
today.
be as intrusive as you can. Just walk out there while they're thinking.
Just walk out there and smack Brett in the head and say, quit thinking about it already.
Played my Legacy deck for the first time. It was fun until Vince was like, hey, you want to play? And I was like, sure. And he played Dredge. And I was like, well, this isn't fun for me. I mean, I guess it is. You do everything and you either win or lose in 2 turns. I was just like, just tell me if I lose.
Dredge isn't fun for anyone.
It was really fun to watch because I've never seen it actually like go off like it did. Alex, how many zombies did you make? It was like 12.
So this is very interesting.
But
This is a very fun, interesting play. Brett is using the...
Jonathan's like, that's a card.
Yeah, he's using that just to make a 1/1, but it also charges up to Shrine. It also is a perfect instance because he doesn't lose anything off of it. As much as I liked it the first time he cast it, I don't really like it anymore. I didn't know he was playing multiples of them.
yeah.
What's the life total?
Life.
Jonathan has 16, Brett Rose has 2.
Brett Rose is at 2?
Wow.
I like how you just shut the world away.
At some point, if I have an actual video camera, I'm going to do like a little video on YouTube about like, here's what the shop looks like. Here's how we can just open this door and get an immediate life check.
Do you have the routing and spoilers up? Because I have a question for you on what card you think is better.
We can talk about it. I'm not going to bring them up when we're playing, but...
Oh, yeah. They're both green and white cards.
Yes.
One of which is 1 green white. Can't be countered. Is a
Smiter.
Oh, the Smiter?
Yeah. And the other one is the Centaur.
Centaur Courser? Smiter's way better.
Yeah, I like the Smiter.
But what if you're playing full Restoration Angels?
You're talking about the Centaur Healer?
Yeah. They're both 3. One's
Okay.
a 4/4, can't be counted. The other gives you is a 3/3, but gives you also 3 life.
Play them both.
That's my theory. I know, that's my theory. Like, whatever. The only problem I have with green and white after rotation is I'm going to put more white in because my sideboard's going to be 3 Thalias. I anticipate, I feel like in what states everyone's going to be like...
So, since the game is almost over, I'm going to focus back on the game briefly.
How did gaining life?
Well, while you were talking about something, I was trying to finish the broadcast. He had a vault. He popped the Shrine with 3, and then vaulted, and then gained 8 life.
Yeah.
So almost called him Scotty, but I didn't. Jonathan is down to 8. I assume he has an angel in his hand, otherwise he's just dead, right?
Yeah, or dead. Well, he has a Shrine. Flashed out. I played with Snap yesterday, Judgment.
Brett Rose. Brett freaking Rose. Let's get him in here for a championship interview. It's the first time ever that we have studio cam. An impressive performance from Brett. Very impressive.
Can we talk to Brett? Can we have
You get
a
a-
moment of time?
You get a champion's interview.
Here, I'll give him this chair.
He's gonna hate it. You taking off, Michael? Or are you just stepping out?
Not yet. I'm just going to step out
Okay.
and start gathering my things.
Gathering.
I'll free up this chair.
It was an
for the
exciting.
champ.
It was an exciting round. Brett did lose the first game, then won the next 2, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very impressive. I was very impressed.
Come from behind.
And he wasn't
Cinderella
playing
story.
Well, let's get the champ in here.
What's going on, guys?
We have a studio cam now, so
Oh,
You're on camera.
let's talk about your big win.
Kitties. That is my cute kitty mouse pet.
We have a
Interesting fact
kitten.
about this, it's not the only one of these mouse pads I own. I actually do own another of this identical.
And by another, you
mouse
mean
pad.
several dozen,
Yes.
right? Get that chair. Come in here.
why are we doing an interview?
Because I
you
want
won.
Because you won.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your deck. You have to sit up here because the camera is poorly. All right, so here we are with FNM champion Brett Rose. So here's what's very interesting about your deck. We watched it last week for 1 round, and we watched it 2 rounds tonight. Your deck does nothing for a long time, and then it just wins immediately. It's like, I mean, seriously, like, all joking aside, it's very interesting how it just has like this sense of inevitability.
Yeah.
I guess like the decks that what are the decks that you don't want to play against?
Come on in your way.
No, you're good.
We saw you play against.
Humans. That's actually a pretty tough matchup. I was lucky he never took off.
Against Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
you had
on
the.
there, that's-
You also had the world's greatest world's greatest Phyrexian rebirth against Jeremy.
How did you like the day in there?
By him?
Yeah. I couldn't understand it.
It was good at the time for you.
Yeah.
I would think that if you're playing like a million creature deck, you probably don't want to have a lot of board sweepers, but he brought them in from the sideboard, he said, so.
Okay.
But it seems to me like your deck has problems against, like, if you're playing like a Joseph's like Goblin deck,
Yeah,
there
I
would be
can't.
draws that you can't beat.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggro matchups that I just can't do.
And we always poke fun at you because your mana base like refuses to generate a land that's not tapped.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the problem with playing junk colors and But what do you think about your deck post rotation?
Post rotation is going to be completely different. You lose Elspeth, Shrines, Timely Reinforcements, which is huge.
You played 4 Timeless Main?
Yeah, I switched over from last week to 4.
Seems good.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at to replace those? How's your deck going to change?
I'm probably going to keep it the same colors. And just put some of the populate mechanic with the flying birds in there, because that's and just focus more on the land activations, because that's really what ends up winning it for you.
That's an excellent point. You won every game we saw you win on camera. That wasn't just a blowout. There was a couple games with the heroes where there was a game with the hero where you just won because you had heroes, but it was all on the back of Vault of the Archangel.
Yeah.
Gaining enough life to get you out of it just changes the race math so much.
Yeah, it's out of the hole.
Very interesting. Are you here to award the prize to the champion?
I am. Yeah.
How many packs did Brett Rose win tonight?
Well, another person would have actually won packs, but Brett Rose just gets the glory.
Just the glory for Brett Rose. That's what you get for not playing Infect.
Yeah.
So. Are you going to play next week?
Next week, Infect.
Next week, Infect. It's Swan Song, right?
Yeah. Blue, black, or red, green.
It's up to you. Both are good.
Yep.
Alternate every round.
Yeah.
Just play them together. Play a 120 card deck.
Yeah.
Just play them all. Just jam
This
them
is
together.
pretty good.
Just jam 2 decks together. JB, is there anything you'd like to say? Anything coming up store-wise? We got pre-release next week, right?
I do have a pre-release next week.
Okay. And I've already been pimping states as best I can. So. All right.
Goodbye, Turtle.
People are starting to go home. The Turtle's leaving, so that's a good sign that we should all probably hit the road. Brett, congratulations. Michael, as always, thank you for co-commentating. Thanks to everyone on the internet for watching. And come back next week. We'll do it all again. Featuring Brett Rose with Infects, the way that life was meant to be lived. So y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later.